Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Krishna Priya. This is the Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It's Saturday, the 20th of April, 2024, and we have back with us our wonderful channel, Jim. Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you doing?
Welcome, this is Krishna. Oh, I see. I can't. I don't know why. It's some kind of mental glitch I've got. Anyway, hi.
Hello.
So, yeah, welcome. And how's your week been? Good?
So far, so good.
That's good. We're almost at the end. So if you can make it through tomorrow, I would say it's a winning week.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have a full room today. We've got, let me see who all's here. We have Yana, Jim, Angie, Jennifer, Alan, back after a long time, Barbara, Catherine, Christine, Dawn, Mary, Joan, Michael, Radha, Salesh, Safira, Susan, Wendy, and myself. So that's a big room. Who do you have with you?
I have Donna and Blair.
Perfect. So welcome, Dawn and Blair. Okay, and then we've got everyone in the YouTube chat. Hi to everyone in YouTube. And we'll start with some announcements. Go ahead, Angie.
Thank you. We have our channeling class scheduled for Sunday, May 26th, 1:30 to 5:30. This channeling class is more to learn more about the different ways to channel, not just the traditional channeling, and then so it goes into a greater understanding of the different ways to channel. This class is 1:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. The price is $150. If you're interested in that, I will be the one that's teaching that class. I almost forgot to say that. I will be the instructor on that. And classes at hucolo.org for the channeling class. The consciousness class, which will be channeled by Jim, and he will be channeling Gurnani. This is technically the third the third class in the consciousness, but although it's the third class, if you haven't taken one or two, that's okay, because she is going to be encompassing 1, 2, and 3, and expanding on the consciousness in a much greater way than she has before. I know, Jim, that you have been receiving information from her in regards to some of the things that she's going to be talking about in this class. You want to add on that?
There's still more to come even. So I'm not sure what she's all going to bring forth, but she will touch on the beginnings of it, because some people will be there for the first time, and she will fill them in quickly. It won't take long for them to understand where she's coming from, and then she's going to go to some greater places.
I know that with our consciousness, we are now really just starting to tap into the fullness of what our consciousness is and what it can do, and actually how you can use your consciousness in your daily life. That class is Saturday, June 8th, 1:30 to 5:30. The cost on that is $150. And classes at hucolo.org for any information or to register for that class. Our gathering is scheduled for 8/8/2024, which is an 8. So the start of our workshop gathering is August 8th, 2024, 888 Infinity. It's the Lionsgate. We've got a lot of new interactions we have new presenters coming. We've got Rob Gothier, Krishna Priya, Will Mitchell, Jim Charles, Angie Speed, Kalina Angel, the gentleman that's going to be doing the sound bowl healing. I don't remember what his name is.
Joseph Smidlin. Joseph Smidlin.
Thank you.
It's not sound bowl healing, it's a sound bath.
Oh, sound bath. Okay, yes, sound bath. So thank you for that correction.
No
And
problem.
so this is something that we have not yet experienced as well. And so we've got a lot of good good presenters and good information coming. The gathering is $6.95 and it is from August 8th through August 12th. You can do a day pass. You can do all encompassing. And if you're interested in that, classes at hucolo.org. I will get all the information out to you for anything, the channeling class, consciousness class, or the gathering.
And also, I'd like to add, we might have someone else doing a sound bath on the very first day. Someone from our group here. So Lisa might be doing that.
If you'd like to do that.
So Lisa might be doing a sound bath. She has the instrumentation to do that on the first day. So we might be enjoying a couple of them. So
Very good. Very good.
very good. So it's going to be very fun. There's going to be a lot of energy creation. It's going to be a lot of oneness and beauty. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. All right. That's all I have.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see. We will start with some blessings. So we'll start with Barbara and then Dawn, Jennifer, and then Yana. So please come in right after the other person's given their blessing.
Tatoda hita nandoko tahiana to shata hiandoko kihara wasa tuniata kiata kushaata minatoko mata hiata kodasha kiata koata tuwaka.
God's light shines forth for you to see and understand. Some absorb it easily, and others shun it. Look for it and make sure that you can find it so that you can be part of the energy of God. It is not easy to understand how God works, for he is so high and above all things. But please be mindful that he is there, even though you don't feel him or understand him. He can still be with you.
Mahasa anakush nara akmala tish anamukuri iksha natash nak ekwa sad nes urunme se are kolum asa ke iksha pasa ana kumosa anamoya hayaka ayaka anu swai tia kasha ana usunme pala ani hai ese awade.
It is time for all to stand firm, for there are many things coming, but you will be the ones that light the world. You will be the ones that are showing others what the light is all about. Be the example that you should be always, and do not fall or be carried away by negativity or things that do not matter, but keep yourself in the light and in the love of God so that you can grow forth and do the things that you need to do in this time.
Ring te hano, ki sha shoko hina we, wan tan toka na te ti tina che cho, kohote wa hina no tata nina ke, manana kane na ti chicho shina tena ka kaha hina to.
Keep yourself holy and righteous, for it is so that God looks upon you with favor if you do so. There are so many that have their hands in so many different earthly things that it is difficult for them to actually be fully in the light. But God wants you to be with him, for it is a whole new experience to be with God and in God than it is just to know that he exists.
Hi everyone, this is the Arcturians. Taka ortonono e ta hanta ja taka estu tort e nai ke to orto ine ka astu torte ke aite te otua. Intotu pakartono iteata tertotu ueka tantest itu hante hokka art haite naka taite kastitu per heokotunu kaetete mentotu ort ondekeatastka ate antajata turtenia.
Be of good cheer, for God will lift you up when you are down. Put your faith in him and put your faith in the eternal. Do not waste your time with those things that will pass away easily. And do not put your faith in things that you are unsure of. Be with the one that you know is the righteous one of the universe. He is there for you. He will be with you. He will light your way, and he will make you strong and guide you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I just want to make sure we were finished. All right, we have a lot of requests, so let me read through them. I'm going to sneeze first. Excuse me. Okay, so sorry. We have the Arcturian Collective, Grindle, or Osiris, Ganesh, the Dolphin Collective, the Cherokee Ancestors, Yeshua, and then I'm just checking the YouTube chat. Archangel Michael, and Guru Nanak or Ahura Mazda. Archangel Daniel. Those are the requests from the YouTube chat.
Very good. All
Very
right.
good.
Let's
All
see
right.
who comes. I will be with you shortly. Have a wonderful session, everyone. Think good thoughts and be in prayer. Thank you. Greetings. I am Elijah. Today, let us look at each one of ourselves individually. We are not all the same. We are all different peoples. We are different thinkers. We are different doers. We are different impulses. We have all these different things about us that are different from the others. But yet, in a world of community, we must learn to live with one another in a way that is calm, beautiful, and peaceful, not in anger or not in disappointment or in frustration. Remember that we all have our problems and we all have our moments that we are not always correct. But you can overlook this with unconditional love. You can unconditionally love anyone in the world as long as you hold that love within you. It is time for people to learn how to do this. Some of you are trying to do this all the time, and others have too much anger, too much disappointment, too much trouble to be able to even think about it. But I want you to think about it because it will create a different kind of life for you. Your life is now in turmoil, perhaps, but it can be in the light. It can be greater than you think it can be. And you are greater than you think you are. Many of you have overcome many great turmoils in your lifetime, many great problems, and many great griefs. But it is time to understand that the light will make you go through these griefs and make you positive in these times so that you can go through them faster. I know it's a message that I have repeated many times, but still there are some that cannot get it. There are still some that do not know what the light of God can do for them, what being in God means to them, or being with God can do for them in the way of strength, understanding, and power. It is time for all of you to understand that it's not just one that will grow and shine his or her light, but all will shine and grow in the Lord. As he gives you these energies, gives you these gifts, use them for him, use them for his way, use them for his understanding, use them to make others great as well. Sure, they can make you great as well, and people will look at you and be in awe of the words and understandings that you have, but you must teach them peace. You must teach them love. You must teach them oneness. You must teach them peace. It is important that everyone find a way to get to their friends and family and the world in a way that they have never been able to do before. It is time to go out and be with the people. It is time to go out or go online or do whatever it is that you do to be with those that are wanting to know God better, wanting to know peace and love better, wanting to get out of their troubles. You cannot always bring everyone out of their troubles, but you can bring them the light, and they can bring the light to themselves so that they can be more comforted, more painless sometimes. But God's will be done no matter who you are. I know some of you are in great pain, and some of you are doing what you can to overcome that. God is with you, and there are reasons for everything that happens in this lifetime. But please do not give up on God, and I don't think you will. But I think that it is difficult sometimes before the time that is coming soon for many to be risen up into a different kind of light. It is time for you to understand that he is testing you and tempering you and making you as strong as he can so that you will be able to withstand all that comes up against you. There will be a tempest coming. There will be things coming that you will not understand, things coming that will make your world more difficult. But that doesn't mean that God isn't there. That doesn't mean that this is a time of sorrow. It will be a time to overcome, a time to understand, a time to reach out and bring those that are close to you even closer, and the time of oneness. We must all come together. We must all join our hearts. We must all know that we are individuals, but yet we can be one. We can be of a light, and we can be still ourselves. It does not mean that you have to give up your own personality in order to have the oneness. It does mean that you have to give up something to become part of the oneness, and that is your stubbornness, your dislike, your hatreds, your angers. These are the things you must give up. The things that really don't resonate with you anyway. It is a time when you will be a bright light, and you do not see yourself there yet, but yet it will happen. I see many bright lights here already, but some of you don't see yourself that way. But please look at yourself that way and be confident in who you are. The love of God is with you, and you must share that with the world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. One moment, please. Lots of people called me. They must love me. Yeah, I guess. Mm.
They do. They love you.
Yeah. All right. All right. I'm almost here. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
It is Grindle, as you know.
Well, Grindle, there's a lot of questions, so I'll just, you were requested by several people, so I will.
Oh, yes, I know. My fans. Mhm.
Yana requested you first, so we'll start with her and then we'll go. Who else requested? Saphira requested her. Who else requested Grindle?
I know there was three.
Yes.
Who's
Who
Dawn?
was the
Dawn.
Dawn? Okay, so we'll go because Dawn. So it was.
Dawn
I think
first.
Dawn was first. Dawn, Yana, Saphira. So we'll start with Dawn. Sorry. Go
Yep.
ahead, Dawn.
Hello, Grindle. It's been a
Greetings.
while since we've talked.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't have any real questions for you. I just like to have you present. So I
Oh, thank
put
you.
you forward. So you go right ahead and say anything you feel like.
Well, I do have a few things to say before we start. And that is that the world's in a bad place right now. You know that. I don't like to say negative things. Well, I say them anyway, but I don't like it to be the forefront of what I'm saying, but I deal with it all the time. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to straighten out in the world is all these negative things. So it is that there is many things happening in the world that we did not expect to see, or we did expect to see, but not in this time frame. Like in Israel, we expected Iran to attack much faster than they did. But since they have already attacked at this point, it is time for us to look at this situation over there because I think that that's a very serious problem. Also, Russia and Ukraine, that's a very difficult problem as well. We need to be more active in helping everyone. But the thing is, many of these countries think that we're overactive with the places that are our allies. But you have to understand when they're our allies, we work with them. We do the best that we can to work with all our allies and support them as best as we can. Even though our country has been weakened by a lot of different things, we still want to remain strong with the world. And I love the fact that many of you understand what it is like or are demonstrating against the persecution and murdering of many civilians. That is something we also are looking at. I am working with the government of this country. We do not like it. We do not like it at all. But you have to understand we're in a place that we have to deal with things as they come, and we can't just be willy-nilly and say, no, we're not going to support you because you're doing something bad, but we're going to support you because you're our ally, and we want to talk to you and counsel you and get you into a state of mind where you can do the right thing. And we're trying to do that now. So they're not always doing the right thing, but we're still trying to talk to them into it. And so don't blame us for their actions, but we do want to help get these people out of bondage. All right. And also, I wanted to say there are many people around the world that have all different kinds of opinions of what's going on. But the truth is rarely ever told in the way it should be. It's very direct. You can see with your own eyes what is happening if you were there, but it's not reported that way. So sometimes it would seem like things are worse off than they even are because they want to make everything sensational, everything greater than it really is. So and I can understand that, but reporting and the news are starting to become, well, they have become just more entertainment sometimes instead of directly giving you the news. And that is sad.
Thank
All right,
you.
I'm done.
Okay. Don, you sure you have no questions for Grindle?
No, I have no questions. I just thought he'd be an interesting character to bring in.
I
That's
am.
always true. That is always true.
I'm
Okay,
always.
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yana, are you still with
Yeah.
us?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
great.
still here.
Yes,
Okay, hi, Grindle. Thank you for coming.
thank
And
you.
I'm a fan. Of course, I'm a fan.
Of
Thank
course.
you. So, Grindle, I was wondering, and without being too wishy-washy, as being part of the collective, feeding the collective with positive light energy prayers
Mhm.
must help a great deal too. So, can you tell me how this is affecting things? Is this really making a dent, or do we need to do more hands-on work?
Yes, you need to do more hands-on work, but the prayers and the positivity do affect the atmosphere of this planet. Just it's a butterfly effect, but if there's a lot of people praying for light and a lot of people doing it at the same time, then it's a greater butterfly effect, meaning that it will affect things in a greater way. Now, don't be discouraged about what is happening because you see you're thinking, oh, it's not working. We're not sending out enough positivity, but that is not the case. What is the case is that negativity is being sent in. They're like standing up like a, a stone in the middle of the field. They're trying to stay the course and not be knocked over by the positivity. Many people are praying for good things and good outcomes, but it's not always happening. So do not stop praying and do not think that you're failing or do not think that that is willy-nilly at all. No, it's not.
No,
It's
no,
very
no, no.
powerful. Very powerful. Thank you. It
Yeah,
is.
I don't see I don't see. I'm not discouraged, but there must be an effect in the collective when there's a lot of light workers chose to incarnate in this time to
It
bring
is.
that about, and we can expect all the cats in the narrow to react and want to and work out the last things before the bigger shifts are happening. The
Yeah.
chaos comes before the shift. So
Oh, yes.
so besides doing prayer groups or bringing light festivals and things together where people are en masse and bringing more power together, what hands-on things would you advise?
I would say reach out to people around you to help them and give them an understanding that there is positivity in the world. There are many people in your Europe and many people in the United States and other places that just have no hope whatsoever because no one has reached out to them. No one has said anything kind to them in a long time. No one has been helpful to them in a long time. They're sort of just existing. And we must find these people and help them because they are more powerful than they think they are. And they can help with the light workership. And
Yeah.
there's so many like this. It's so much separation in the world right now. And we have to come back together. So,
Okay.
yes, hands-on is yes.
Hands-on is good. Thank you so much for the support, and I will give another one a chance to another fan to come
I
along.
also wanted to say some of these people that are isolated will not want your help. Some of them will just be like, I don't want anybody's help. I just, you know how they are. but
Mm.
some of them really need the help. So if you run into someone that says, no, I don't want your help, so just leave them alone. So, but there are many others that will.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Thank you so much. I'll give another one a chance. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Grindle.
Goodbye
Thank you.
for now.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Yeah.
Safira has a question. Go ahead, Safira.
here.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. Hello, Grindle.
Greetings.
I have two very different questions.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you're familiar with Michael Sala. He's been involved a very long time with exopolitics, different federations out there, and different levels of channeling. So recently he came out with a report that concerning the Middle East, there was a lot of very positive things going on secretly behind the scenes, that the white hats and the federations and different groups are paying off the debts that they owe, some of the Middle Eastern countries owe to the cabal, so they can be free to have their own opinion and act independently how they want to towards Israel and each other. And that attack from Iran was a controlled attack. There wasn't one casualty. And so somehow he said that it was all so much more positive than what it looked like to the world. And yeah, I'm just wondering if you've heard or know of anything like that going on behind the scenes.
I am not aware of that. The confrontations in the Middle East are all very, very old. They're not new confrontations. They've been around for centuries. These are not new confrontations, and they're not happy confrontations. And the attack on Israel, you don't put an attack on somebody and say that it was a positive thing. No, that's
I'm
not.
not saying positive, I'm saying it was staged because they had
No, it wasn't. They shot down most of the rockets or most of the
Right.
drones that were
That's what
gone.
I'm saying. There weren't any casualties. So it
No,
was
there weren't any casualties, but that doesn't mean that they didn't want casualties.
Mhm. Okay, I was just wondering if you had heard anything
I
about
don't
that.
think that. I think that is a very nice gesture that everything's going better in the Middle East than what it appears to be. However, if you live in the Middle East, you will understand the ancient arguments and hostilities they have one with another, and it's not, they are not paying off the cabal. The cabal has total control at this point. I don't see anyone paying off the cabal so they can be free. That just doesn't happen.
No, the countries are not, but the federations and the white white hats, as they call them, etc., are paying off the cabal for the sake of, on behalf of those countries. They're
No,
not paying themselves. You don't know. Okay, it's okay. Thank you. I don't want to take too much time
no,
on that.
that's all right, but that doesn't happen. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Nobody pays off the cabal. They don't take any money. They're the richest people in the world. They don't need money.
No, but it's like I have a debt and somebody's paid my debt for me. That kind of thing. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
they will not do that.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion. My other question is about something very different. I would like to know if you know what the being Thoth is doing in the world to help the world or the galaxy or anything. If you have any interaction, what's your opinion about who he is and what he's doing nowadays?
Well, he's usually trying to do something to try to get more people on his side so that he can take over the universe once again. The more people he can get on his side, the stronger he is fighting to win the universe. The universe is a big prize. This is an interesting universe, a very special universe. It's not like any of the other universes. And so this universe is more of a prize than some of the, maybe like the fire universe or the water universe, or the things that are some people do not prize. Those universes are not as valued. in some people's eyes, in the spiritual eyes, not God's necessarily, but in the other spiritual aspects that exist out there, they're not as prized as this one. And this one is a big prize, and Toth wants to win it.
And once he has it, what's the point? What would he do with it? Is he doing any good anywhere?
Yes, he does good things. He does good things and he does bad things, but he does what he wants to do. That's just it.
Mhm.
He'll do something good to make people think that he's wonderful, and then he'll do something bad but they don't know that it's him. So
Hmm.
he always looks good.
All right. So he's not helping with the whole situation directly at the moment, is what I want to
Not
say.
on the planet, no.
All right. That's what I want. All right. Thank you so much.
You're
Good
welcome.
to hear you. Good to hear you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan has a question.
Greetings.
Hi, Grindle. So my inquiry is two parts. I'll start with the first part. From your more zoomed out perspective, I know that in the present time and in the future time, there's some geopolitical sort of turmoil in the sense of the nations, but I was wondering, there's also a geographical turmoil with Gaia. And would you say, is there any correlation or link between the turmoil with Gaia and the political turmoils? And would you agree that your perspective on if we were to ground with Gaia and give support to Gaia, that somehow that would also affect lessening the
Yes.
the potential political strife? Are those two linked? That's the first question.
Yes, they are. And I'll tell you how they're linked. First of all, they're linked in many different ways. First of all, their sun, all the activity of the sun coming toward the earth, that affects humans as well, causes fatigue, causes pain, causes anger. It stirs people up. It also stirs up the planet geologically. And it is when you have all those vibrations from the sun hitting the earth that way, you're going to get all kinds of responses from the earth and from the people. So yes, that part is involved. Also, the axis is off. The jet streams are off. And so as the jet streams are no longer in the proper places or work in very different ways than they used to, still in the same way, but in a different range, they are affecting geographic and they are affecting humans as well. Some of the effects of the storms and the volcanoes and the tectonics and that kind of things, this is coming from the axis being off and the magnetic north being off as well. So all these things affect humans and the earth at one time. And yes, if you give more attention to the earth, there you will find that helping Mother Gaia will be a greater help than trying to figure out what's going on in the world as a whole. But yes, there are other energies that are coming in because the veil is very thin between the worlds at this point. And it is just a lot of negativity coming in and a lot of positivity and trying to defeat that. That also affects the weather and the people. So everything that is happening in your world is affected by things within the world and things outside of the world, but both geographically and personally.
Thank you. My second part of the question is, so within the Earth sort of conflicts, there's a dynamic at play between, let's say, the United States and Europe with Israel, Gaza, and Iran, and and there are these pockets of, let's say, strife. There are these pockets of conflict
That's
that
yeah.
the outside world is going in because they really do want to help. They want to get peace, and they don't like what's going on. They don't like the situation, but they still want to help it. And so, would you say, I'd like your take on, is there a parallel between how the rest of the nations view these hotspots? Would that lead to a development in their mentality to be able to relate to out in the cosmos, the alien federations, the other outer world, to be able to see the Earth as a whole as another sort of spot of conflict, so they can sort of relate to their perspective? Is there something to this psychologically?
I think I understand your question. And most leaders of countries and of this world their eyes are set on this planet. They're not set on the outside of the planet. They're set on helping their own causes. And there are many beings out there that are trying to get in contact with your people, and they do know that they exist, but they see them more as an interference at this point. They don't want them to take over, because they want to have everything for themselves, and they want to say, I did this, I did this. But the thing is about this is that they are going to have to deal with the outside world very soon, and the world outside this world very, very soon. And they're going to have to be able to understand that their problems are small compared to what is out there. And this world is important, and it needs help. It needs direction. It needs many things. So they're going to have to get advice from out there. And many, many times they are given advice, but they refuse to accept it. I see this happen probably once a month. So yes, there will be connections to the outer world. There already is. They already know about them. They already take that into consideration, but their mind is focused on what they're doing here. There's so much going on. The focus is right on their laps. They have to deal with what's at hand first. They can't even possibly think about what's out there right now, because there's too much going on here.
So government meetings are just like irrelevant, like just sort of like not now. That's just like it's not
Yes.
important.
Well,
Okay.
in the end of May, there's another government meeting with the aliens and everything else. We'll see what happens then. I have a feeling that there will be some different reactions at that particular meeting because of the way the world is at this time. We shall see. But good questions. Yes.
Thank you. I pass the mic.
Karen, Krishnapriya.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. The Zoom keeps trying to sell me on some kind of AI translator program every time I mute
Oh
myself.
yeah, they're gonna do that for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hey,
can't, and it was blocking my ability to unmute. Angie has a question. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Angie.
Angie,
Greetings, Grindle. How are you?
I am well. Wow.
Can you give us your perspective or understanding on how the last full moon before the eclipse, so the full moon and the full moon energies, and then the eclipse energies itself, can you give us your perspective or understanding on how that affected the people?
All right, there was a super moon before.
Yes, that's what it was, supermoon.
There was a super moon before the eclipse. The super moon is a very powerful sign in the sky. This last month where we have the eclipse and the super moon, I believe they are signs of the time and what people would call spirit signs in the skies, because they're tipping you off that there is something coming. The the supermoon was so beautiful and full, and the energy from it was very positive and very enlightening, and all these things. And then you got afterwards, the eclipse came and was sort of a mesh of all different kinds of thought processes, because there was all kinds of anomalies happening at the same time as the eclipse, even though they were not reported in the news. The Devil's Comet, whatever, out by Jupiter, went by with a 1,000,000-mile long tail. It wasn't visible by eye to the Earth, although they thought it might be, but it wasn't. I don't think. Not that I heard of. But it was also a sign. There was other anomalies going on. There were other ships there. And this solar eclipse was very meaningful for people to start thinking about their own lives, their own ways, their own means of doing things, because things are going to start to get a little bit hairy come the end of the year, before the end of the year. And it is for them to start considering bringing God into the picture a little bit more before these things start happening. So they were sort of signs and wonders, if you want to say it that way. But the eclipse was very powerful in prophecy. It was prophesying. It was telling you that something's going to happen. It is telling you that something is happening. You could feel the change in the energy. I don't know how many of you can feel the change in the energy, but since the day after, there was a new timeline came in after the eclipse, and the energies changed drastically for several days after that. And so I'm not sure how many of you felt that, how many of you were involved in that, but it did happen, and it was significant.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, I did feel the shift. And so I just wanted your perspective, because you are very interactive with Earth, and I just wanted your perspective of
Thank you.
what that was. Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. It is my perspective that, yes, these two things happening close together. I don't think the supermoon, I didn't know that. I think they knew that the eclipse was coming. They knew for many years, but they didn't know about everything that was going to be happening at that time.
Thank you very much. Much love to you, Grindle.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. We have some questions in the YouTube chat. Let me just go there very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, one moment. So I had them pulled up, so let me start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to have you here, Grindle.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be here.
Perfect. Okay. Heymet Wally says, Grindle, how is the magnetic field and the axis of the Earth doing?
Oh, yes, I spoke about those earlier. The magnetic north has shifted over to Siberia. It was not there before, as some people already know. And the axis has moved a little bit further out. Now, the thing is about these two particular things that work together is they change atmospheric pressure, they change tectonic movements, they change they change everything under the earth as well as over the earth. You will see greater weather changes because of this. You will see greater warming because of this, but do not be surprised. There is like a 12% chance of an ice age within the next 10 years. I don't think that's a big chance, but it's still a chance because we are still on the Earth's surface feeding the sky with pollutants and things of this nature that do affect how the warming of the Earth is going. And the magnetic north is causing the compasses to be slightly off, but they're still fine because north is north, but it's over toward, instead of on top, it's over to the side a little bit, but it is still pointing north for the most part. And the axis has moved a little bit more. They are holding it in place. They're making sure that the axis doesn't turn over, because you are due for a flip on the planet. And they don't want this to happen, because every time the Earth flips, it wipes out most of the population. Now, Cabal doesn't want it to flip either, because they want to decrease the population on their own, to make it because they have a certain idea and plan in place for it. So flipping it over would be too much. So they want to control everything. So they are part of the reason why it hasn't flipped. Some of their species that are working with the Cabal are very highly advanced, and they are helping to keep the planet from doing that flip over. But it's strong because it's strong because there is a certain period where the sun and the earth have this magnetic pull with one another, and that's when the earth flips, is because of the magnetic pull of the sun. And the way that the earth is tilted and the way that it is supposed to be is causes that every several 100,000 years. So yes, everything in this planet right now is in the midst of a turmoil of sorts, but God is working to help clear this out. But so is man. Mankind has got to wake up. Mankind has got to take the problem and solve it, because they're trying to ignore it, but it's not going away. So they're going to have to take it into consideration that they're going to have to solve these problems, and they're not easy problems to solve. And so it is going to be one great big frenzy before something desperate happens. But I think they're starting to see the signs pretty clearly now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, we have some more questions. One moment. Let's see. Chill Mike says, you're right on point, by the way. Let's see. Magdalena asked me to make you full screen. I did. Nancy Pants says, can you speak on the Antarctica anomaly being reported by numerous meteorological equipment?
Yeah, the big ship.
I guess so. And is that the one that I was speaking to Jim about?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
there is a large vessel. It's very large under the water, and it actually moves from Antarctica to the eastern side of Africa, and it is very close to some of the ports there that are very active, and these ports they have really a lot of ships in them. So it is this gigantic underwater thing is seen as being an anomaly of sorts. Many think it's a ship. It definitely can be picked up on radar. It definitely can be picked up by sonar. So it is one of those things that they know it's there. They understand that it has volume and it has material to it, but they have not identified exactly what it is. Now, yes, there are those countries such as the United States, Russia, and others that have gone to research it and look at those radar and sonar scans and see what they can figure out from that. But as soon as they do that, It's not there that long. Sometimes 36 hours, sometimes 72 to 80 hours. But it's not there long enough for them to get a good understanding of it. So it disappears after that time. Where it goes, we're not sure. I think it goes down much deeper into the ocean so that no one can use the sonar or radar against it, because it goes into an perhaps an undersea cave or something, but it comes from Antarctica, I believe. And it looks, when it moves, it looks like it's coming from Antarctica, from the coast of Antarctica into the eastern side of Africa. So yes, we
Wow.
think it's a ship. It's a mothership. It's very, very large, 2.5 miles long, and I think it's I don't know the exact measurements of it, but I know they measured it to be 2.5 miles long.
So they haven't seen it actually come out of the water.
No, they have not.
Okay, but they know, but then it disappears, so you're saying it goes down.
I believe it goes down and back into Antarctica. What its purpose is in appearing, we don't know. It's a mystery, but they're looking at something. I believe there's an alien species that is looking at these port cities because it gets very close to the ports, very close to the coast of Africa, and it's looking at something there. I'm not sure what.
Interesting. And you don't have any information on the beings that are in that?
No, actually, this is a kind of anomaly that we're not sure. To put a guess on it would be to be probably wrong. So we don't want to do that. So, but we do think it's extraterrestrial.
Well, I don't think we have the ability to build something that big, do we? That's
Oh, yeah.
mobile?
You can build something that big, but you have not really done that very often.
How fast can that thing move, do you think?
It can move pretty fast because it can move from Antarctica to the east coast of Africa and sometimes to the west coast of South America very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's that long, but to navigate the terrain of the water.
Well, the thing is, to move that quickly underwater, we do not have that. We do not have that here on this planet, that ability to do it that smoothly. We can do it, but it wouldn't be as smoothly as they do it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
And do you have any information for how long have they known that this was going on?
It has appeared twice, as far as I know. First time it appeared for about 80 hours. The second time it appeared for about 36. And once was in February, that the first time, and this time was in April.
That's fairly close together.
Yes.
It's not years apart or anything like that.
No.
Interesting. Okay. All right. There's another question from Arturo. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about that, or?
No, because I really don't have enough information to really go on about it.
Okay.
And plus, it's sort of hush hush in what they do know about it. They're not saying very much about it, and I'm not allowed to, say some stuff. I usually do, but I can't. It's top secret.
Okay, no problem. There's a question from I almost lost it. It's from Heymat Wally. He says, "How is the magnetic field?" Oh no, we already answered that one. Sorry about. He said, "What is the prophecy you were speaking about, please?"
the prophecy of things to come from the eclipse, all the anomalies, the supermoon and the eclipse are telling us there are great changes coming. That is what the prophecy is. What these great changes are, we are not exactly sure, but we have a pretty good idea that they're not positive, not what you would call a positive change, but they will end up to be positive down the road somewhere. But at the beginning, they're not going to seem that way. At least that's what we're picking up because of the energies that are all around, because of all the different things that are there. We're picking up that it's going to be a rough end of the year starting in June.
Oh, Lord. It just keeps getting rougher and rougher.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but it's not my deal.
No, you know what I mean? It's like at what point, it's like if everything's
Well,
rough, is anything rough? I guess that's the
the
question.
thing is, it'll get better eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, in about 100 years. No, just teasing.
That's okay.
Just teasing.
That's Kali Yuga. It gets worse before it gets better. Okay. Wendy has a question. Go ahead, Wendy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So, how are you doing today?
I am really well. Thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm in bright, sunny Miami, so it's lovely here today.
Yeah.
But my question, my question is related to hybrid children, and there was a large group of us, and we were doing a lot of floating around on balloons, traveling from here to there, and I kind of remember like hugging everybody goodbye afterwards. So, what exactly were we doing?
In balloons, you were,
Yes.
well, it was just another experience in the astral. These are different kinds of balloons that you would than what you would have on the earth, like weather balloons or the balloons you fly in on the earth. These were in a different dimension, and so you were in like a space-time infraction. I'm not sure how to explain it, but yes, it was just something in astral.
What was the experiment? Was it
The
trying to?
experiment was to see how many different you were looking at different worlds. You were looking at different scenarios for things, and you were making new friends with other people in other balloons. And this is one way that they meet. There are certain groups that meet this way. You just happen to be in one of those unusual ones with the balloons.
Oh, very cool.
Good people, though. Good people.
Yeah, they all seemed wonderful. So I thank you very much for that info.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Michael has a question. Go ahead, Michael.
Greetings. Unmute. Hello?
Michael? There you go. Here he comes. I think so.
Hello?
He's trying, I think. One moment. Is he still here? There he is. Okay.
Greetings. You're muted.
You're muted. No, well, he's not muted actually on his screen. Now he's unmuted. Try talk again, Michael. No, we can't hear you. He's not muted though. Let's give him a moment to fix his microphone.
All righty.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Michael. I think he's having to like revamp some things here. We'll give him a moment.
Okay, we'll give you a moment, Michael. Is there any other questions while we're waiting?
Yeah, there's another question. Let me just go back up. Let me see. Is there a question in your room by any chance while I'm looking for a
Any
question
questions here? No?
here?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. No.
All right, great. All right.
While you're
Let me
waiting,
get-
I'll have a drink of water.
That would be awesome. Arturo has a question. I'm trying to get back to it. Okay, Arturo says,
Yeah.
my higher self is speaking to me in questions with metaphorical meanings. The higher self asks me, who lets a dog into his own house? What do you think that means? What do you think my higher self means?
When they say, who lets the dog into their own house?
Yeah, who lets a dog into their own house? Well, I would say an owner, but
Yes, because well, when the dog knows how to get in, he will come in on his own. So maybe it's saying that you're allowing somebody that is what you would consider lower than yourself to come in and out freely. But I don't
Yeah.
want to think that you would look at it that way. I would think that you would think that they were a pet, like a happy animal or a good animal. So if they can let themselves in and out, that saves you some work because they can
Yeah.
go out on their own.
In a doggy door.
Yeah, with a dog eater. But I just don't. I think that it's it's telling you that somebody has a lot of freedom around you, and you look at them quite nicely. It can be a quite nice look because you would think of them as a loving pet or a loving person, and they have a lot of freedom around you. Is there someone like that around you? Other than that, I wouldn't know what they were trying to say. Someone's going in and out freely.
Okay, great. Thank you. Michael, how are you doing over there? I don't know if he's still on.
I see his name, but that is all I see.
Okay.
Michael, when you're ready, we're ready for you. But we'll keep going until you're ready.
Krishna Priya, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, Grindle, about Area 53. I know there's a lot other stuff going on, and you mentioned our governments are busy with other things, but do you have any update on that whole scenario?
Well, they're having trouble with some atmospheric stabilities. There are some planets that have different atmospheres than your Earth, and they to bring in people from those other planets can be very dangerous if they don't have atmospheric stability for them.
Right.
And many times the mix of things that are in their air cannot be stabilized in a small space. If you and so they're failing at some of these atmospheric enclosures. They're having a very hard time also with a translator machine problem, and there are two species that cannot speak yet. So, and they're more telepathic, and so they don't have a language. And so they need to be able to interact with these telepathic beings before they can have them come, because no one would be able to communicate with them because you do not have telepathy at this point.
Right. So the will to do it is still there, and is there any kind of projected timeline for it at all?
I do not know of a projected timeline because that was put on hold because the wars in other places took precedence, and also this election is taking a precedent over all the things other than that.
So would there be any other type of protocol that these couples can use to see each other aside from waiting for Area 53? Is anybody working on another alternative?
Other planets are, but that will not help you at this point.
I see. What do you mean by other planets are? What do you mean?
They're preparing for when Earth is going to be able to take people off planet and bring them to their world.
Oh, like immigration.
Well, they don't look at it that way, no. But yes, in a way, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question about the atmospheric differences. How would that work to have like two people in the same room that are used to different densities?
okay, one would have to be wearing a breathing device, and they have some of these breathing devices already created, but they want, in order for aliens to come here, they must be able to live in their own atmosphere for a period of time, because it not only affects their breathing, but it also affects their skin, their eyes, and other things. So there are 3 different atmospheres that the aliens must be in their own atmosphere for a while. So they have to stabilize these atmospheres so that they can actually survive for a week on the planet. They can use breathing apparatuses to be in the Earth atmosphere. However, they have to go back to their atmosphere for the skin, for the eyes, for different things to maintain an equilibrium with themselves, to not fall apart or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how it affects them, but I know they have to be in their atmosphere for a while.
I mean, that would be actually quite a big thing, even if we were to travel to another planet. You just couldn't go jumping off of a ship.
Correct.
And
You
yeah,
would need a spacesuit, and they have
Yeah.
their spacesuits, but people want to interact on a more personal level, so they're trying to work on that.
Okay, thank you. Michael, are you back? Are you muted? You're not. No, what's going on here?
It might be a Bluetooth issue on his end, maybe. I'm
Oh,
not sure
maybe
because
it shows him muting and unmuting. Let me ask him to unmute. Try it again. If you're on your phone, you can just use your phone microphone or your iPad microphone. Yeah, we can't hear you. Do you want to type your question? Yeah, he's going to type. I think he mouthed okay. So we'll just give him a moment to type the question.
Very well. Thank you for
Um,
putting up with us, Michael.
Okay, Grindle, this is from Tay. She says, can you tell us information about the haploid beings?
Haploid. Well, there's very little known about the haploid beings, but what I know from them is they're friendly. They're quiet, meaning that they don't interact with this realm very often, and they are very highly evolved. They are have a lot of information. So if someone is in contact with them, with the haploid beings, they are probably getting very good information. They're probably feeling them because they're very empathic. They send emotion to people. They send their thought processes to people. Other than those things, I don't know much about them.
She says that she had asked if they were positive or negative, but you said they were positive. She said, then one second, she said they are peanut or caramel colored. The government named them haploid. And she said, are other planets expecting us as refugees and why?
Yes, other planets will eventually expect you to come to there as refugees, but because this planet will not be able to support itself in another 100 years, you must be off the planet. Another 100, 200 years, the planet is going to start giving up, not having enough air. It's not going to have enough coal and all different kinds of
Resources?
elements. Pardon me?
Resources?
Yes, resources. Not enough resources for the future. So in 100, 200 years, you must be off this planet.
Okay, well, I hope everyone can make it off. That's it.
Well, that is just the point. You should be
Yeah.
able to be off by now. The planet is dying, and you
Right.
should be able to escape from it now, but you can't due to the Holocaust.
Right.
The Holocaust killed most of the brilliant people that were going to be working on anti-gravity machines. And you still are flying jets 75 years later after they were invented. You should be flying something much higher evolved.
Okay, thank you for that. Michael asked a question. He says, I met a girl from the Philippines and I want to know what you thought about her coming over here. Are her intentions good or are they bad?
Well, I don't know who this girl is, but I've seen this happen before with many other people. The girls from the Philippines are trying to get away from the Philippines. It's not necessarily that they're a good marrying kind. They just want to get out of that particular area. It's not a good area. The Philippines can be very dangerous in some places. And so be very careful. There are good people there, but as far as I know, most of them want your money to get out of the Philippines. And then when they get out of the Philippines, you'll never see them again.
My goodness. Okay. Shear's just arrived. Shear, did you have a question for Grindle?
Ah, greetings.
How are you, Grindle?
Greetings.
It's been a while.
Of course, yes.
How are you?
I am well.
Are you off this planet?
No, I am still on.
Interesting. Would you care to share your thoughts about everything that is going on in Israel and conflict-related stuff?
Well, there's many things going on that are secretive over there as well, because there are many things trying to be worked out in a very clandestine way. But the angers and the differences between the peoples in the Mideast are centuries old. And so this conflict is not going to be an easy one to overcome. However, in this day and age, there might be a way, but I cannot give you all the different ideas that have been shared with me because it is not open to the public to hear them. But yes, I believe Israel has its greatest desire to save its people. It has fewer people than Iran, and it wants to get rid of negativity, but perhaps sometimes people are looking at the way that it's being done as not the right way. But the thing is, what other way is there? One moment. In war, there will be casualties always, but we want to make sure that the least amount of casualties are happening. That is why I am part of the U.S. military. And so it is that I understand what's going on there, and everyone is acting accordingly to their own thought process. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And so as they are doing that, the world looks on and it's being reported differently than what it is actually happening in some ways. However, this Iranian attack was not welcome. And so therefore, there's a lot of aggression happening within all the areas of the country. I'm speaking very carefully because I cannot tell you how many things are going on there, because there Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, all these countries are involved as well. And so with the involvement of many countries there, there's going to be some turmoil.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you safe, Sheer, where you are?
Sheer is
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Well, take care of yourself.
there's a
Love to
Thank you.
your
question
call.
in the room.
Say that again. There's a
There's a
question in the
question
room.
here in the room.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Blair. So we're talking about conflict. My question is around the world as a whole, planet Earth. Are there protected zones? Are as the world carved up thus that we see a conflict zone in the Middle East, we see a conflict zone in Europe with Ukraine and Russia. In the northeastern United States where Jim and I live, it feels like it's very conflict free here. We don't have hurricanes and tornadoes and fires, and we have fresh water. Is there such a thing as kind of protected safe zones on the planet versus conflict zones? That's question number one. And number two is Norway in particular. I've never been to that part of the country, but our daughter's traveling there this fall for a year abroad. So they've just recently installed a fascist Trump-like dictator, supposedly, or dictator wannabe. I'm curious if those Scandinavian countries, are they in a cool zone, if you will, a peaceful, protected, relatively safe zone? Those are my two questions, Grindle, please.
Thank you. First of all, there are some safe zones, and not because they were chosen to be safe. It's just their placement on the planet puts them in a safe place, if that makes any sense to you.
Yes.
Weather related, tectonic related, and peace related. So in this area where you are living, there's not earthquakes, there's no volcanoes, there's very few tornadoes, there's no hurricanes. The worst you have is rainstorms and ice storms and snowstorms. So those are your conflicts.
Yes.
But they have even lessened.
Yes.
So yes, you are in a more safe zone at the moment than others. However, let me put this in here. The weathers are going to be changing. And as it has changed for the better for this area, it will eventually change again. So I do not know what that change will entail or encounter, but there's many changes coming to the weather patterns of the Earth. Many.
Yes.
So the second question, what was that one?
Norway.
Oh, yes. They seem to be in also a better place, but not really. Let me tell you why. They go through a great deal of darkness during the year, and the people are suffering with mental illness because of the great darkness that they endure for 6 to 7 months out of the year. And their alcoholism is very high. And although they don't have many earthquakes or anything like that, or tornadoes or hurricanes, they do have bad ice storms, bad snowstorms, and they're in darkness a lot. And so safe zone maybe to some extent, but there's a lot of other things that you don't really understand about the country that can be considered to be sort of negative, like the darkness for such a long period of time.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. They are good peoples, though. In the summer, they are much happier and much more active, but in the winter, they usually do not move too much and a lot of inactivity. And if it's not too cold, they go skiing. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thanks, Blair. Okay, Joan has a question. She
Greetings.
says, I dreamed last night that I have a mission and this And this flies being, that flies were, okay, she said she was being attacked by flies, and then she killed some of them, and then she felt something crawling around on her head, and she wanted to know what they are, and did they give her a plant or device?
Let me look into that. Let me look into her for 1 second. I think that killing of flies is something like you're getting rid of pests, you're getting rid of things that are unpleasant. You're purging something out of your system. You're getting rid of something negative in your system. But the implant idea is that yes, there is a possibility you had an implant at that time to help you move forward in your to get rid of this negativity that you feel. I don't see you having a great deal of negativity, but I see that there is something that is really bothering you, and you're not sure. It's something spiritually related, and so as that is, they're trying to help you get through this.
Okay, great, thank you. Let me just check our YouTube here. Oh, I lost it. Okay, one moment. So sorry. I clicked away, and I think I clicked it away, which is not what you want. It's not what you want to happen.
No.
Okay.
Well, sometimes that's what happens. You click things
Yeah.
away.
You click them away. All right. Let me ask you a question while I'm, let's see. Okay, I don't have any other questions.
I think Susan just put in the chat that she has a question.
Great, go ahead, Susan.
Susan.
Susan?
Hello. Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you for coming, Grindle. It's always wonderful to hear from you.
Thank you.
And so I recently went on a trip to Tennessee, and I went to the historical grounds of the Cherokee Indians, where the treaties related to the Trail of Tears, where the U.S. government had them displaced from their native lands to the state of Oklahoma, happened at this state park called Red Clay. And I was there, and I did some light language land clearing, and I understand I had a lifetime as a Cherokee shaman. And when I returned, or the day I flew back this past Tuesday, I broke out in an allergic reaction, and especially on my face and arms, this almost like a red sunburn. My entire face is red, but I understand it's like I'm releasing toxins or purging, is what came through. And I'm just wondering if you have any insights as far as why I'm going through this purging, because I had to reschedule, or I should say cancel, I was going to be an exhibitor and presenter at my first expo, which was to be tomorrow, and I had to cancel that because of this allergic reaction I'm going through. And yeah, if you have any insights as to what's going on with this.
I want you to sit with the information that you learned from this encounter with the Cherokee Indian incident, because it's a turmoil that is still going on today in some ways. You understand that? And so
Yes.
as you are purging right now, they want you to actually stay still. They want you to be in your home. They want you to not go out. They want you to understand that you must sit with this information, because there's something in this information that is pertinent to your future. I'm not sure what that is, but there's something in the information that's pertinent to your future. And they're saying, we're stopping all your activities so you can stop and think about these things, stop and be aware of something that is happening in your own life that is connected here to this past. And maybe it is a something to do with abandonment, because the Cherokee Indians felt abandoned at that time.
Yeah, that definitely relates. Yeah, because I know in the past I connected to a fear of abandonment, and I am, yeah, pretty much sitting in my house resting and not doing anything or going anywhere. So that the last few days with this, and so yes, I'll connect with them, and
The name of one of the beings you can connect to is Adjuran. Wait, let me get his name. Adjuran Nani. Adjuran Nani. I believe that was one of the Indian spirits. Adjuran Nani.
Aduranani,
Adjuran Nani, yes.
Aduranani. Um, is there any information about the lifetime I had with them, or if I was alive at the time of the Trail of Tears?
It was you were very affected by it. Yes, I can see that. And that's one of the reasons for the outbreak, is this was a time of great embarrassment, great disappointment and abandonment.
Yeah, because I know they didn't want to leave their land. So, all right. Thank you for that information. I will, yeah, I'll connect to Aduranani.
Adjuran
Adura.
Nani.
Listen back to the recording. I think
Yes,
it's
I
like
will. Thank you.
Adjuran Nani is, yes, a spiritual guide.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very
It was hard
much.
for me to pronounce too, so don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, thank
I had to
you.
get it. I had to get it. They were saying it, and I'm going, how do you I like to work my lips around that? Yeah. All right.
All right.
Nani. Yeah, I got it now.
Okay, thank you. Much love to you, Grindle.
All right, very
thank
good.
you. Chill Mike from the YouTube chat, he says, Grindle, isn't the technology issue, I guess going back to what we were talking about before, the fact that we're not, in different kind of vehicles, we're still on jets. Isn't the technology issue also deal to the cabal holding all the true advancements and things that can help humanity back for themselves?
They're holding some things, yes. But your governments are also holding things back with the help of the cabal saying, don't let them know. Don't give them this. Don't make them stronger. Let them be weak. Conquer and divide and conquer is what the cabal is all about right at the moment. So yes, there are informations that they are not letting go. You have not seen a great deal of technical advancements recently, but there are many of them happening at this time. They are just not sharing them.
Okay. Alan, is that a real question or you?
No, I don't have lips.
Okay. Thank you.
But
Tay
I
wants
do
to
have
know.
a mouth.
Go ahead.
I do have a
There you
mouth. I read
And
the
teeth.
question. Strangely, it was the one question that I did read.
That's good. Okay, Tay wants to know, she said, Grindel, I had an implant in my right calf as a
Yes.
child. Do you know what species put it there?
Yes. That was put in there by Grays. The Grays put
Okay.
that in there. And the reason why they put it in there is because they were checking out if you had any tendencies toward the gray species. There are many humans that have a lot of different blends of alien DNA within them. And if a certain species will put an implant in a certain place in the body, they're looking to see if they're in control or they can take control of the body in some way. Obviously, they could not.
Okay. Do you need some water? Does Jim need water and you're making him
Oh, well, yeah, we'll
coffee?
try. We'll give it
All
a
right.
go.
Thank you. Mark Fragola wants to know, won't humanity need to be evacuated from Earth when the poles flip?
Yes, if they actually do, there will be ships waiting to take mankind off the planet. This is where the 12 what are they called? They're where your helixes. You have two helixes, the third strand and all the 12 strands. You understand that, right? That's when the 12 strands will be used, because you will have to live on an alien ship for a while. They will have to activate the strands that are needed for you to be on those particular ships.
Is there a warning when a pole shifts, or does it just reach a point and flips? I mean, how does everyone
reach a
get to a ship?
point, but out there, I know out there, they know exactly what's going on, and they'll know days ahead of time.
Okay, and they'll be able to get everybody on the ships.
They will try.
Okay.
They want to take more than what they are actually equipped to take. So I believe they're trying to get more people involved with it. So
Okay.
they want to take at least 1 million people off the planet, but they don't have the ability to do that yet.
There's billions of people on the planet, so not everyone will make it, right?
No, excuse him. No, they will not make it.
Okay.
Many, yes, if that is to happen, some will survive on your planet. There will be. The ones that are on the edge, of course, the planet is turning while this is flipping, and so it'll be much more dangerous than you might think, but it is flipping in one direction. So, but the planet is also turning. So as it turns and flips, more people will be involved in that catastrophe.
Okay. Former Dreamer 29. We've never had a question from her. So her name is Michelle. She says, Grindle, I'm terrified of lizards. Why is this? Was I tortured with them in a past life?
No, when you were a child, you saw one and you were afraid of it. But also, there is something about reptilians that bothers you as well. You've heard that they are negative. Many of them are, but there are many that are also good. So they just seem slimy and yucky to you. So yes, you had involvement with them at an early age and you didn't like them, but also you hear the information that you hear about them has also caused you to be a little apprehensive about them.
Gigi, I have to read this question slowly because I think there's some language barrier here. According to Jesus, the true teaching is any form is illusion. What is the main limiting belief in spiritual community that's going on that's very active?
The main limiting belief is that, well, many believe the main limiting belief is that no one wants to give themselves over to a spirit or a god, or they find that to be problematic. They don't want to give themselves to a spirit. They don't want to give themselves to a god. They don't want to, they find that to be tempting fate, like something's going to happen. I think that is the main thing that people need to understand. You need to give yourself to God so he can work with you and use you and be with you. But a lot of people are afraid to do that. And if you do not do that, then you cannot have the full advantage of what he's going to work with you with. and full advantage of all your gifts and full advantage of everything else. He and some of you say, I've already given myself over to him, but he doesn't help me or whatever. But there is something there you have to look at, because in my experience, when you give yourself over to God and he is within you and you are within him, miracles happen. They can't help but happen because you are working with an energy that is far advanced than you. And so that is what people, that is the main illusion that people see, is they don't want to give themselves over. They think that they can have everything without doing that, and that is not true.
Okay, thank you. Someone is asking, when are the poles going to shift? But you're saying several hundred years in the future.
No, I didn't say that. They're starting to flip now. I said several, they flip every several 100,000 years. But right now, it's about time for them to flip here.
Okay.
It's overdue, actually, but they're holding them back.
Okay, so it theoretically could happen at any time.
But they're holding them back, yes.
Okay. All right. Let me just see if I missed any questions. No, who has a question here? Oh, Christine has a question. Go ahead, Christine.
Hello, Grindle.
Yes, greetings.
You are a delight to have. When we could pump you with so much
I'm a delight. That's a first.
In archaeology, they're finding a lot of underground cities that had existed.
Yes.
That were totally self-sufficient. And archaeologists are saying, well, it was because they were being invaded by other countries or other cultures, and they wanted to hide until the massacre stopped. But could these cities have also been because at one time, when the earth had shifted or when the weather had changed so drastically for such a long time, because they had to have been in operation for a long time for them to be.
Some of these cities were domed. Some of these ancient cities had domes around them, like Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is a not a city, but it is where they had a lot of people, and it was a domed area. No one could get in the middle of the jungle. No one can. So they put themselves in that place so that they could put the dome around, and so no one would run into them and discover that there was a dome around the city. This happened with other ancient civilizations as well. They were preserved because they were domed. But now the dome is gone. Now everything has been, all the technology has been removed. And all you see is the ancient building and evidences of the ancient civilizations. But you see evidences of ancient civilizations that could not possibly exist without the use of alien technology. So aliens were on your planet for a long time and built a lot of very, very different and unusual things. They have Puma Punka, for example, a great example of perfection. I mean, there is good work by the ancient peoples, but perfection is not one thing that they had. But there are certain places in your world on the ancient level that have perfection, such as in South America. There's a few different places down there. There's the Stargates. There's the pyramids are a great example. They were at one time a picture of perfection. It just is amazing. you know, there's so many places I could point out, but there is so many old places that have perfection in them, and perfection does not exist with humans.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
great, thank you. That's our last question because we are really at the end of our time.
Ah, very well. It's about time. Jim's throat's getting really bad.
Well, then maybe it's a good time to call it a night then, or call it a day.
Correct. Yeah.
But would you like to bring Jim back? And I
Oh
want to
yeah, I'll
thank
bring
you
him back
for
while you
being
guys
here.
figure out what we're doing. All right. Have a
All
great
right,
day.
it's been lovely. Please come back soon, Grindle.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, we
And
love you. Bye.
let's get out of here then. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't tail first. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. We had a nice session with Grindle and with Elijah, but Grindle was here for quite some time. It was nice.
Yeah, that's different. He spent the whole time, didn't he?
He really did, yeah. How's your throat? Because he thought he was
I'm
tearing it up.
okay. I'm fine.
Okay, good. All right, perfect. Why don't we have Angie, we'll do the announcements and then we'll end with some blessing.
All right.
Angie, are you with us?
I am with you.
Great.
Yes, we have 2 classes and a gathering to talk about. We've got our channeling class scheduled for Sunday, May 26th, 1:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I am the instructor on that class, and that is that channeling classes for those that have they may not necessarily want to channel, but they want to be able to maybe connect with your higher self and being able to communicate with them. So channeling does not necessarily mean an entity come in or being come in. Channeling can be, there can be many different forms um, of channeling. So that is what we're gonna, yes, we're gonna talk about basic channeling, but then we're also gonna be talk about the other elements of channeling. Again, May 26th, 1:30 to 5:30. If you're interested in that class, $150. Please send an email to classes@hucolo.org. The second class is the consciousness class that will be taught by Jim. He will be channeling the entity Granani. That is scheduled for June 8th. It's a Saturday, 1:30 to 5:30. The cost on that is $150. And Granani, with that consciousness class, she will be encompassing all the elements of how to use your consciousness. We are just at the beginning stages of our evolution, where we are really starting to use our consciousness in a much greater way. If you are interested in that class, please email classes@hucolo.org. I will get information out on how to register for that class. The gathering is scheduled for August 8th through August 12th, 2024. That class, gathering is $695. It is all encompassing. It will be lodging and food, and also all the participating in all of the events that we have scheduled for that time. If you're interested in that, we are also offering a day rate if you are in the area, or if you'd like to stay off-site, we are also offering a day rate. It is classes@hucolo.org for information on how to register for the gathering.
Very good.
Okay, thank you. So we have some blessings. Let's see, we will have Susan do a blessing. Wendy, did you want to do, is she still here? Did Wendy stay? I can't tell.
I can.
Okay, and then who else was going to do a blessing at the end?
I can.
Okay, Angie can. Did I miss anybody? Just in case I missed somebody.
Alan's raising his
Yeah,
hand.
Alan was supposed to
Okay,
do it.
Alan, great. All right, so we'll do Alan, Wendy, Susan, and Angie.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay.
Okay, great.
Kana ishahra antuka yara ukhansiach an laach. Timla echajla afransida afshantia. Kima khaalethia ushanta elaha. Kufsherda ala yara uk ansita ara khotosiata. Kuma asha kish ala kanata. Namaste.
Let us all come together in oneness and peace, with love and respect for one another. Let us all see each other for who we really are and not just the surface being. Let us dig deep into ourselves and know ourselves so that we can see others in a different way, so that we can see each other for what we truly are and truly have within us in respects of goodness and kindness and beauty. There are ones that are not so beautiful on the outside, but when you come to the inside, they can be different to everyone. But you must find and seek these things.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Wendy.
Oh, thank you. Shunyara kahitha thuiri tikinya otoirama. Ini yusu thuinya mai shikutuyanara. Ko I tatinya hati chuchunya pa thuina ma ta ichi ka. Tuhiana maha pahi chichi tutuirana. Ira ruinya ini uhui ka tata thuira pa. Ya yuru nyuru mamai tuchu nuru pohuina na tuirama. Hi. Blessings.
Human life is short, but there is a greater life afterwards, and you are all moving toward that life. Of course, when you pass, you will move into a greater eternity, a greater understanding. But go into that eternity knowing that this life you have done the best that you can, for there will be problems if you do not. You must answer for all the things that you do and all the things that you do not do. It is time for you to understand that there is judgment, but it's not an eternal judgment unless you want to go to somewhere that is not a good place. But God will bring you into a better place and teach you and let you know what is right and what is wrong and how you have used your goodness and how you have used your beingness in every way possible. This is a time to become a bright light, pure and workable with God.
Susan?
He sia kotoia tia, sika e kutuia ya sia ya kututia sia ya titia utu kututia ya tia. Hosia ya titia kua, he sia itia ukutitia sikito ya yakia. Hosia ya kito ya tia, sikitia o sia ya tia ya kutu ya tia itia. Hosia ya tia kua ya ia sikia sikutuia. Blessings.
A loving heart is a treasure. Look for these treasures in the world. You will not find any material goods that are really treasures, but you will find people that are. You will find love and companionship, and you will find the truth is treasure. These are things that you must move toward and make sure that you are not making earthly material goods your treasure, but making people and God and understanding and wisdom and love your treasures, for they are everlasting and always will be.
Angie?
Dotokura tanayataka. Sono utu uchi mahana utuko ataha. La atuko o miya niyatako o ara sananayata. Blessing.
The spirit will fall, and as the spirit falls, healing will happen. Healing of many different things and different kinds of thought processes, as well as the physical being, the soul, and the understanding of the mind. Let this be so. Let this come upon you in the most beautiful way possible, for it is there and it is wanting to come.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim. Thank you to Grindle, to Elijah, to everyone in the room, and to everyone in your room, and everyone in the YouTube room. YouTube's also a room. So thank you so much. And next week we have Will, so which that'll be really fun. And then in 2 weeks you're back.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you, everyone, for being here. Much love to you all. We'll
Thank
talk-
you, everyone. Have a fantastic week.